Alright, damn it. So, HadesOmega was gonna shoot a video about this. But anyway, we were at 100. We were at 100%, okay? So finally we got it close to 100%. Alright, something is drawing 3 amps right now. But anyway, we're at 277.7 amp hours. We're pretty much fully charged. Alright, but if we look at the voltmeter, I got it hooked up to battery number 4, our problem battery. Alright, it's only 3.315 volts, alright, so that doesn't charge it like all the way. But it's not charging anymore, that's the problem. So, but it literally is charged right now, okay, according to this. So it's going to shut off like soon, I guess. I'm not 100% on that, but yeah, it was pretty close to. It was 100% the last time I looked at it, and then I came back down here, and then poof, no more power. So let's see if there's any power. Yeah, 58 volts. It's not making any power. What I was thinking, like, hey, why don't we go use up some of that power? Let's go charge the light bee, you know, or something, because I could charge the light bee a little bit, you know. But I was thinking, like, yeah, you know what? Let's leave it fully charged first, okay? We'll let it do the loads overnight, you know, and then tomorrow it will definitely fully charge when the sun is at its, you know, at the peak, okay? And then we'll see like what voltage it stops at before when it stops charging the battery, okay? But I'd imagine, you know, it just won't charge it anymore. It'll just run the loads with the solar panels, okay? Because this unit can do that, okay? It'll directly use the power coming from the solar panels to power the loads, okay? If it's not charging the battery, okay? It will use that extra power to power the loads if there are any loads in the garage, okay? So I'm not gonna lie, it took pretty much a whole week for it to fully charge, all right? And I want to try to keep it like in the middle somewhere, like 70-80%. What I've noticed is the state of charge will go down like 20% overnight, okay? So that's just like, I guess, just the refrigerator and some other loads and stuff, and then it'll pretty much go back up 20%. So if we have any large loads on the system, it'll just really drain it, you know, and then it takes a long time for it to recharge back up. So I'm thinking, like, yeah, we need more solar panels. We don't have enough solar panels. So if I wasn't going to use a lot of loads in the garage, this is perfectly fine, okay? But if I want to charge an EV, a motorcycle, or run the dryer, okay? Well, we can't run the dryer because we don't have 240 volts, but if we wanted to run the dryer, we would definitely need more solar panels, okay? Because we'd be just chewing through that power like really fast, okay? But anyway, we're at 3.316. I don't think we're going to get anywhere near 3.6 volts, okay? So that's good. We don't want it to be like super high up there charged, okay? We want it to kind of float around in the middle, okay? That way you don't risk overcharging your battery, and you don't risk over discharging your battery. Well, I don't think we'll over discharge the battery. There's no way you're going to over discharge the battery because we got the BMS, okay? So yeah, so on another note, yeah, I mean, just for longevity of the battery, we don't want to overcharge it and we don't want to over discharge it, okay? But if any of those situations does occur, that's why we have a BMS, okay? The BMS will say, hey, I don't like it, no more power for you, okay? I'm going to isolate myself from the system to protect the battery, type of thing, okay? So is that what I'm saying? So it took roughly a week to charge this, and I tried my best not to use large loads, okay? I kind of did sometimes, but really the biggest load is charging my electric motorcycle, okay? And I have a small electric motorcycle, okay? Just imagine if I still had a big electric motorcycle, yeah, it wouldn't be enough, okay? But yeah, so we're at 26.52 volts, all right, and that's like about 3.31 volts per cell. I think it was 3.32 yesterday, so yeah, I don't know. But yeah, the system works, okay, with the settings I have that I used from Mr. Prouse. It works, All right, it works pretty good. But tomorrow, when it's at the full, because like it hit 100% right when like the sun, it went down and it's not charging anymore. So tomorrow, when the sun is at its highest, I will try not to use any heavy loads in the garage tonight. I was thinking of charging my electric bike, but I've got to do that sometime this week anyway. So, and I will try not to do any heavy loads in the garage tonight, and then we'll see tomorrow when the sun is at its peak, and it will definitely hit 100%, and it'll be charging a whole lot. All right, we'll see what the final state of charge is. Okay, when this guy stops saying, hey, we shouldn't pump any more juice into the battery. Okay, I'm kind of wondering how this guy works too. I think this, from what I heard, this thing is self-tuning. Okay, so I think if we do go over 280 amp hours, it'll recalibrate itself. Okay, so right now at 280 amp hours, that's 100%. Okay, but I don't think, I definitely don't think it's gonna charge that high. It depends on what your upper and lower limits for the voltages are. Okay, and I think these limits are kind of conservative, because if you remember from the capacity test, we got about 270 amp hours. Okay, which is fine. I'm fine with that. That's a lot of power. Okay, so that's what I'm gonna say. Okay, so tomorrow we'll go check again when the sun is at like full power. Okay, and it's outputting the full power into the battery. When it gets to 100%, we'll see what we'll do. Check one of the cells, or we'll check all the cells to see how it's at. Okay. All right. Yeah. So yeah, pretty much. But for the most part, hey, it works great, man. Like I can just leave it here and it'll do its thing. It's it'd be a good idea to like not let it stay at 100% all the time. Okay, but that's fine with me. I mean that's it's pretty much it's doing a thing. Okay, it's pretty much autonomous. Okay, and we haven't used a drop of grid power. We haven't used any grid power in this garage since after we started the system. Basically, I think the first day we used some grid power and that was it. Okay, and then we did do a generator test the other day too. So okay, so yeah, tomorrow we'll check it out. All right, HadesOmega out. It's at 99.1%. Okay, I'd imagine tomorrow will be around like 80 or 70 something percent, and then it'll charge it all the way back up, and then we'll check again. All right, HadesOmega out. So, but anyway, 3.3 per cell. Okay, yeah, 3.31. HadesOmega out. All right, HadesOmega here, and we are at 100%. All right, I don't know it's putting in a very small amount of current right now, even though the solar panel is at like at 120 volts. Okay, and I'm pretty sure there's like plenty of sunlight outside right now. It's like 4 o'clock or so. Actually, we're kind of at the end of the day. So anyway, so we're gonna see what the 100% okay is. According to this guy, we're at 27 volts. Okay. So yesterday was just a little bit low, and now I caught it when it's like at 100%. So that's how we're gonna check it. So what was my settings again? Okay. So yeah, it charges up to 28.8 bulk charge, and then float charge is 27. Okay, so there you go. It's floating right now, so 27. All right. So how many? But we will check to see how much the number 4 battery is. Okay, so positive here. Okay, negative here. Okay. Oops, it's in the AC. 3.4 volts. Okay, so when this is fully charged, it charges up to 3.4 volts per cell. Okay, or battery. So now that's like kind of. I know, man. This kind of. There's a big gap here. I noticed that. Yeah, man. This number 4 battery. There's something up with this battery. It's not in the bestest of shape compared to the other ones. But anyway, so 3.4 volts is what it charges up to when it's fully charged, which is perfectly fine, because you can charge this up to 3.6 actually. Oh, I did the the refrigerator just turned on. So yeah, so 3.4 is what I'm gonna say. So when it charges it up fully to 3.4, I'd imagine that's kind of where I want it, you know. I don't want it like fully charged or like 3.6 all the time, so that'll be safe, you know. And then when it drains it all away, and then like I said, you still have the BMS to protect the battery, you know, if from overcharge and over discharge. So like there's not much that can go wrong with this setup, okay? I just want to say, all right. Now you could set it to charge higher, I think, like 28 volts or something. What would 28 volts get it to? You'd add an extra almost 2.2 per. Yeah, if it was 28 volts, you'd be pretty close to full capacity. Okay, but I think 27 volts is just fine. We'll go with that. Okay, well now it's like kind of evened out. So now that my battery bank is fully charged, it's time to charge my electric motorcycle because I just rode it today and it has like no charge in it. Okay, all right, cool deal. So yeah, so that actually I will check all of them. Let me check them all real quick. So you can see the inverter is powering the inverter is powering the loads, but it's not drawing anything from the battery. See, there's 0 amps coming from the battery, and I can hear the refrigerator is on. It's using the power from see, there's 160 volts being pulled right now, but it's not coming from the battery. All right, this is still kind of like it's just trying to maintain it now, because we got a lot of power coming in still. Let's check. Sorry for all the beeping sounds. Yeah, so we're drawing 165 watts from the panel. Okay, now we should be able to put more than that. So so that just goes to show that you can charge, you can run loads off of just the solar panels only. Okay, so right now that's what we're doing. The refrigerator is on. All right, it's cooling and it's drawing about 100 watts. Okay, but it's not drawing anything from the battery. See, the battery is still charging a little bit. Okay, so we're not going to be able to put, we're kind of wasting power right now. Okay, all that extra power that we're getting from the solar panels, we're only using about 100 watts. Okay, I'd imagine you can probably draw like, it was probably draw like up to 500 watts and it'll do it. Okay, so there you go, it's at 100%. So it took a long time to get it up there. So now I'm gonna have to discharge it now because I need to charge my electric bike. But let's go check the let's go check all the voltages before and then I won't do any more of these 100% dealies anymore. Okay. Okay. So we'll start with number 1. It should be about 3.37. Number 2, 3.37. Number 3, 3.37. Number 4 again. 3.39. Ah, see this one? This one is not balanced. It never balances. I think that the capacity on that battery is a little bit low. 3.37. 3.37. It's number 7. 3.38. Okay, this one's a little high. Just a little bit. And 3.39. Oh yeah. Some of them are not kind of balanced. That's what I want to say. Yeah, it seems like 3.37 is our lowest and 3.39 is our highest. That's okay, I guess. It's not too bad. All right, so that's another reason to try to keep your upper voltage where you're charging it to the maximum. All right, keep it a little lower than the full capacity of the battery. Okay, so that way you won't damage the battery. Okay, so it is at 100% and it's 3.39 is the highest. There's no way that's going to damage the battery. You can go up to 3.7 volts. Okay, 3.70 volts, and the battery should be okay. Okay, it's recommended 3.65 is the highest you go, but I think you can, for a lithium iron phosphate, you can do 3.7, and we're nowhere near that. We're like at 3.39 or 3.4. Okay, so yeah, we could still put more power into the batteries, but for longevity, I'm gonna say that where it's at right now is good. Okay, so that was just kind of like a practical test right there to see. Okay, so okay, I'm gonna go drain this battery pack now. All right, as we go. Okay, guys. So yeah, so I just showed you is like when the battery says it's at 100%. Maybe this isn't right, man. Maybe I need to reset this. It says it's at 280 right now, but it's still charging. It's charging just a little bit. It's like trickle charging. It's like half an amp. So yeah, I don't think it's like really charging. It's trickle charging it. So I think so. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go charge my electric bike now, and we're gonna put a heavy load on the system. All right, and then we'll see if it will draw, if the thing will start charging more. Okay, so right now I'm at 167 watts. Okay, because the refrigerator's on, right? Got that? 167 watts. All right, so I'm gonna go plug my bike into the charger, and then we'll see if that increases. Okay, so I got my charger here. Okay. I rode my bike like I killed it. I almost ran out of power. Yeah, I've got 63 volt. Okay, well, it's still got some charge. I find out this battery, when you drain it all the way, it kind of lies to you. Like it says it's lower than it really is. But then when you drain it, the voltage goes back up later. All right. I got the charger on. And I'm going to charge it at 8 amps, okay? It's at 7 right now. Let's do 8. Okay, and that should get that up pretty quick. All right, so it is charging now. Oh, whoops. I should probably turn my bike off. Okay, now we put a pretty heavy load on it. You should probably hear the inverter now. There you go. So PV is up to 400 watts now, and we're drawing from the battery now, okay? We're drawing about 11 amps from the battery. All right, so now we're going to start just discharging this sucker really fast now. That's what I would say, all right? Yeah, so that just goes to show this was at 160 volts earlier, but it was running off of just solar power earlier. And then now it's running off of the solar power. I guess about they're outputting about 500 watts right now, okay? And it's drawing about 400 watts ish, so but it says it's not charging, so I think it's gonna wait for this to drain a little bit more. Well, actually, it's using all the power from the solar panels to power the refrigerator and the charger right now, okay? And then it's drawing whatever it needs extra from the battery. So this should actually be higher. Okay, you'll see this kind of go up and down, depending on how much power the panels are putting out. See. 11, 13, 16, then it might go back down. Should start going down. I saw that go to 400. It's 400, see? Then it starts going down. Yeah. So how much a load are we pulling on this guy? 31%, okay? And that I can increase it more too, so but I don't really need to really charge it so super fast. Okay, yeah, there you go. So there was just a little test. We fully charged, the battery got fully charged using solar power, okay? And I checked the voltages on each cell, and it was anywhere from 3.37 to 3.39, which is perfectly fine, I guess. And like I said, the BMS will protect it from overcharge and over discharge. And I think that's a pretty safe. 27 volts is a pretty safe voltage to charge it up to. That's what I'm gonna say. It's 24 volt battery bank, right? And it charges up to 27 volts. There you go. You can safely charge this up to 3.65 volts. Okay. I think around yeah, about around 3.4 or 3.5 volts, you'll start to see the voltage curve just shoot up. From what I remember correctly, like suddenly, like it'll just be charging, it'll be absorbing all that energy, and then suddenly it'll just start to go up. Like in one day, I saw it just start going up a whole lot, and it fully charged in like one day. So like, yeah, that just shows you how steep the charging curve is for it. Like it'll stay at a set voltage, and then once it gets to the peak of its capacity, it just shoots up right away. Okay, okay. And then now we're and then with this little test, I showed you that if your solar panels are outputting a lot of power and your battery is fully charged, it will power the loads just from the solar panels, and it actually does that. It does that while you're using the loads throughout the day. Okay, so if you're powering a load, and let's say the battery is the load is kind of low, it'll still charge the battery, and it will use the extra energy from the solar panels to power the loads. Okay, so that was a cool little experiment right there. Okay, so yeah, this in a way, this grow watt inverter, it does. You can just run it off just the solar panels, okay? If you got enough power. If not, I mean, yeah, you can run it off the battery. There is a model that you can run without a battery bank, but it's better to have a battery bank. Because what are you gonna do when the sun comes down, right? So, but this model will do it, okay? This model will do it. It will run off so it prioritizes solar, battery, then utility. Okay, so when the solar isn't enough power, it just starts drawing from the battery. All right, and it does charge the battery at the same time. And then when the battery isn't enough power to power the loads, it switches to the grid power. Okay, so there you go. I mean, it's pretty much an autonomous system, man. It just once you set it up, it does the thing. All right. All right, here's what we got. Alright, HadesOmega here. Also, I wanted to point out that, yeah, I rode this bike today, and I made $50 doing DoorDash with it today. Alright? This bike right here. I know it's kind of hard to see because my shirt's so freaking bright, man. But yeah, I rode this bike today, and I made $50 on it, and then I'm using the power of the sun to recharge the battery back, and we're not paying any money for it. I'm generating the power going to this bike right now, okay, to recharge it. And I just made 53 bucks. So in a way, this is going to pay itself off in no time at all. Basically, if I keep at it with the light bee, okay. I might try to get another electric motorcycle in the future, also. So yeah, man, this is really awesome, man. It's kind of like a dream of mine to be able to make my own power to power my electric vehicle, to power an electric vehicle, like. So yeah, you don't know how happy and excited I am that the power I'm generating from my solar panels, all right, and my solar panel system is charging my electric bike, and I'm not paying to put any gas in it. I'm not paying to put electricity in it from like Pacific Gas and Electric. That's who my utility company is, okay? And yeah. So I mean, and yeah, so goal achieved. All right, the goal of this was to be able to charge. One of the goals was to be able to charge my electric vehicle or my electric motorcycles with this power, so my parents wouldn't have to pay for it, because I live with my parents, and they're the ones that pay the electricity bill. So like I said, at the beginning of this whole project, it was to help my parents out, and help them lower the electricity bill, because this thing chops up some electricity. It's probably cheaper than putting gas in the bike, but yeah, but hey, now it doesn't matter, because I am charging it with power that I've harnessed from the sun, okay, whether it comes from the battery or the solar panel. So I'm really happy. I'm really happy right now. Okay. So I guess when the battery bank is fully charged, I will take this guy out, okay, just to keep the charge down, and to not waste the energy, because as you can see, when the battery is fully charged, it will not charge the battery anymore. That energy doesn't go anywhere else but the loads, okay? And if you're not using any heavy loads, then that extra power that's coming from the solar panels, it goes nowhere. It gets nothing. It doesn't get used at all. So it's kind of a waste, all right? So like, don't leave the battery fully charged all the time. Use power, man, if you gotta use it, okay? But yeah, I'm gonna try to keep it like around 50% state of charge. I think is where I feel it. I noticed this system eats up around 20% state of charge every day, okay? So like, yeah, it's not the most biggest battery bank system, okay? I'm planning to add more solar panels in the future, just in case, you know, I want to power a bigger EV, okay? Because it's okay for a small EV, okay? Like maybe like a plug-in hybrid or an electric motorcycle. The battery packs aren't that big, so you could probably charge most of it, you know? Or if you didn't ride it very much, yeah, you could charge it up all the way, okay? This only has a 2 kilowatt-hour battery pack. All right, it's pretty much drained. No, this is a... Well, this is a 30 amp hour battery. It's 72 volts, 30 amp hours, 32 amp hours. This one is 32 amp hours. This is like a 2.2 kilowatt hour battery pack, okay? And the battery pack I have for the solar array, the lithium iron phosphate battery bank, is like 6.7 kilowatt hours. So I could probably charge this battery like 3 times if that battery's fully charged. But the problem is, it takes a long time to charge that battery. Like I said, it took me like almost a week to fully charge it, okay? Like, yeah, every day it gets higher and higher if you don't use a lot of loads, okay? But if you do use a lot of loads, then yeah, it's never gonna charge. I was gonna say, it's never gonna charge fully, okay? So yeah, that's why I think I need more solar panels, okay? If I'm gonna be using the electric bike a lot, then I need solar panels. And plus my mom wants to power the dryer with it, so I'm gonna have to like step up the solar power production to be able to power that dryer, man. The dryer eats up a lot of power, man. Yeah. All right, here's what we got. Okay, we're doing a stress test right now. I'm pulling about 8 amps from this, and then however much that is. All right, so it's pulling 1.5 kilowatt. All right, that's half of the inverter's capacity, you know. I kind of don't want to increase this anymore. Okay, that's 10 amps right there. But like the wiring might get hot. Okay, is what I want to say. But that can handle 20 amps. But I don't know how well that little adapter on the outlet can handle it. Okay. But yeah, now we're doing like 1.7 kilowatts, okay? So, and we're drawing 60 amps from the battery right now. So that's like, it's not even breaking a sweat, guys. It's not even breaking a sweat, dude. The battery can handle 250 amps. Yeah, well, the BMS can handle 250 amps, and the batteries themselves can handle a 280 amp discharge, okay? So yeah, that's 1C, all right? But it's recommended you don't go past, it's recommended you don't do more than like 0.5, half a C, okay? Half a C is like what? What's 140 amps? So that's not even breaking a sweat right now, man. It could run more loads. All right, here's what I got. Okay, so just in case you're wondering, it finished charging. One full charge on the Lightbee is literally almost half the pack, okay? It ate up 40% of this. Okay, that's quite a bit, actually. 40% of the pack. It should be more like half, okay? But I guess maybe there's other loads and stuff, so. Okay, yeah, so almost half. It should be a third. So that's about right. It's about right. So one charge for that bike should be like about a third of the capacity of this battery bank, okay? Yeah, so because it's like a 2.2 kilowatt hour, okay? All right, here's me out.